welcome to the tour of my French Country Farmhouse style master bedroom. Shall we go in? Hi guys, welcome to my bedroom. The first thing I want to say, it's quite a small room. When we moved into this house, we moved into the master bedroom, but it didn't have an ensuite, and I was really wanting an ensuite. So we decided the only bedroom in the house that we could actually make with an ensuite was this room. So I compromised size to have an ensuite because there was 2 bathrooms on the same side of the house, and this one had a really long corridor. I'll explain that. So this used to be just a hallway opening, there was nothing here, so they boarded it up, and I chose some pretty wallpaper just to give it a little bit of a feature, because there was no way I could ever get the original wallpaper that had gone up. So that's really nice, just having that there. It's like, oh, they made a feature wall, but really it was just to hide the fact that the wall had been blocked up. So also the room had no wardrobe, which is problematic for old houses as well. So the blocked up corridor became the wardrobe. It was kind of like a no-brainer. We just had to live here for a while to work that out. And I really believe that you've got to live in a house for a while to work things out. I do want to say this tour is going to be the good, the bad and the ugly of the room, because I'm all about showing you things that aren't perfect as well. Anyway, I'll go back to the corner and I'll turn around and we'll start talking about things. So the ceiling is not in the best condition. In all honesty, we need a new roof, and it's a bit problematic, but that's somewhere else down the line. At least it's not leaking. And I did have a chandelier put in, so this was like the first thing I really changed in the room. I had even kept the original colour for a long time, which was kind of like a nasty green. I like green, but it wasn't a very nice colour. So that was my jumping off point for the room. Because the fireplace around is black, and you know how much I love white. I really like this, and I'm pretty sure that the tiles are original. Some of the bottom ones have got cracks in them. It was always been like that. And all the tiles had a red little circle in the middle of the floral arrangement. So I just painted over it really roughly because I don't do red. Tiles definitely look Art Deco to me, and the house is 1925. But if I'm to think about it, maybe Deco did start a little bit earlier in some shape or form, excuse the pun, because you know it's all about shapes. I'm really grateful they're blue. Blue's one of my favourite colours. I know some people who have brown tiles, and I just wouldn't have known what to do with them. I don't want to get rid of them. This house is really hard to date in some respects because it was built in 1925, but it was moved onto this property in the 1940s. So I've got a feeling it was probably cut up a bit and added onto. So some rooms have high ceilings and some rooms have low ceilings, and you can kind of see the 1940s additions. There is absolutely no room for a bedside table in this room, so I went with these little black iron tables. I really do miss the storage of bedside tables, I must admit. And these are new tables, but they're just wearing, and I don't mind. They look, they look like they're just getting a little bit aged. So this one has a lot more damage, and that's literally from me putting my coffee on there. But yeah, the walls were green. I probably could have done another coat of white. This was 2 coats, but by that stage I'd kind of had enough. If you've ever painted rooms, it's not my favourite thing. I love painting, but I don't really like painting rooms. And my husband refuses to do any painting, so that's okay, he does other things. And sometimes you just got to live in a place for a while before you know what to do, but also it's financial. You know, sometimes you just don't have enough money to do what you want to do straight away, because let's face it, houses are expensive, and sometimes you only, you know, have enough money just to buy the property. So we've lived here 6.5 years, and my gosh, it's gone really quick. And every day I just dream of what we're going to do. So there's going to be 2 stages to our renovations coming up, and the windows are going to be in our 2nd stage in a few years. We can just get by a few more years. So this is my dilemma. I don't know if the windows are 1925 or 1940s. I've got the feeling that they might be somewhere in between. I just don't know. But they're really, really had it. If you're this old, you'd be showing signs of wear as well. I really do like them. When I replace the windows, I'm not going for aluminium windows, which a lot of the house has. So over the years, previous owners have just put in aluminium windows, and I'm a purist, and I know wooden windows are hard to maintain, and you can get like fake wood windows. There's so much you can do these days. So I'm definitely putting windows that are wooden to the period of the house. Like we have 1970s ranch sliders, and oh, I just don't like them. The bed I bought last year, my husband and I have been married for 18 years, and we've probably had about 12 different beds. It absolutely drives him crazy. I will find a new bed and say, oh, I really like this one, and it's just whatever style I'm into at the time, and this is the style I'm into at the moment. I would really love a 4-poster bed, and you're probably thinking, why, Terry, why a 4-poster bed in such a small room? But oh, I could do it. Anyway, so I bought it off a second-hand trading site last year in November, and they were about $1,500 new just for the base, and I got the mattress and the base, you know, the whole thing for $500. I'm always up for a bargain, and they even delivered it, so I was beyond grateful. I never have my bed made tidily because I'll sit on it during the day. It's like, I'm not going to keep making it, so I'm happy to have my bed just keep looking like this. It's still made, it's just not perfect. The lamps I've had for a very long time. That one's crooked, it annoys me. I just spent 5 minutes trying to straighten it. This one, it's not so bad. I really don't like the shades, but when you're on a budget and you're decorating, it's like priority of what gets changed. So the set of drawers were just some drawers that we bought about 10 years ago that were just wood, and I painted them. So the marks on here are years and years and years of me making myself and my husband a hot drink in the morning, the first thing, and I always put his cup of tea and my coffee down there, and then I close the door and then I go and give it to him. So that's just years of stains from my cups. I do want to make this look more French. I don't have a lot of French furniture, only because it's really expensive, but I've been meaning to for years to make some appliques to put on it, because I do make appliques of resin. Yeah, it's not held up the best, but I probably didn't even use very good paint, to be fair. It's okay. And there's not many power points in the room, so we have extension cords everywhere, which is another thing about living in old houses. But like, don't get me wrong, I'm telling you all these problems, but I wouldn't change the house, so to speak, being old. I love it. I just look at it as challenges. Here we have a little 1, 2, 3 sign, which we just hang some jackets on. You know, it's just all about storage is never enough, especially in old houses. If you ever do a place up or renovate, storage is so important as far as I'm concerned, but I just make it work. Like, I could have just put some normal hooks up, but I like that sign. I didn't make that one actually. I bought that one years ago, and I've been meaning to paint the back of the door for 6 years. I did paint the front of the door so you can kind of see the edge. It's 2 different colour woods. I don't like oak, and I don't like the colour of the door specifically. If I was going to leave either of the wood, I'd probably leave the frame. So we just have a ginormous TV, which I have no opinion about. My husband likes it being giant. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you may have seen that I did this chair. I painted it in a video where I just mixed up a whole lot of colours and went with whatever colour it worked out to be. And it really is a really good neutral for this room. The curtains, the hydrangea curtains, I bought from my previous house because I'd bought them from England. In England, but I wasn't in England. I got them shipped over and I didn't want to leave them behind because in New Zealand, it sounds strange to say it, but there's not many curtain companies unless you get them custom made. I just buy ready-mades, but in my house my windows are quite tall, so none of them ever fit, and that's Spaghetti Junction. That's just PowerPoints for everything. We have to get this room rewired one day, but we've had other rooms rewired, but it's just about money really. You just have to do what you have to do when you can. So anyway, back to the curtains. I really didn't want to leave them in my previous house. Like, I don't even think you can get them anymore. They were from a company called Next. I used to buy quite a lot off Next. This cover is from a company called Wallace Cotton in New Zealand. It is probably, guys, about 14 years old, and it just washes up so well every time. I really like the pattern, and this one is quite French looking. I like layering my bed with different covers. It's reversible, so it's got stripes when I want my husband not to feel like he's living in a feminine bedroom, and then when I feel like being feminine. I love this cover. It's everything I love. I love blue. Today I've got on some striped pillowcases which match my duvet, which was in my spare room. Oh, the cushion is also from the same company that the white cover is from in New Zealand. And here's a bit of artwork I just made for a bit of fun. I needed some artwork for my room, so I painted this frame white. It was green, bent some wire and made it into a heart. Oh, isn't that romantic of me? My husband is the least romantic person, but it just gave me some artwork for that space. And the 1925 sign I have everywhere. I'm still looking for something above my bed. That is not right there, but I just haven't found the right thing. I've just got a desk in the window. It literally needs repainting as well, but it's such a narrow space that it fits in perfectly. Yeah. When I first started painting, I didn't really put a sealer on what I painted, and I've learnt my lesson. You need a sealer most of the time. The fireplace does not work, which I'm not worried about, hence why we have a heater here at the moment. It's really cold, it's winter in New Zealand. The fireplace I painted as well, literally years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and it's, you know, got the coffee marks. Told you it was going to be all about the good, the bad and the ugly. I've just got an old little bit of lavender that's been there for years, some family photos. I just like white frames. Go figure. And just some little containers. If you've been watching my videos, I painted this and was going to put some eggs in it, but my husband came up with the idea to put our medicines in it. No, we're not hypochondriacs. That's just some like hay fever medicine and some painkillers and stuff like that. So that's quite cool there. It's right by the mirror that I did up on the same day. If you saw that video, I love this mirror so much. When I put it in the room, I was just like, wow, that's perfect. And it was a bit of an accident that it turned out to be black, if you know that story. And here's another bit of neutral artwork that goes really well with the neutrals. So really it's just beige, blacks, whites and blues. And I also picked up this frame from an op shop thrift store the other day and just printed off a picture of a hydrangea from the internet and thought it looked quite cool in there with the black frame. I was going to paint the frame and then I put it in here and I thought, no, it goes perfectly. Here's another picture by an artist that I really liked that I bought years ago. It's just so cute. It's I think the title or something is like Family Tree. I just really loved that kind of whimsical artwork. Well, I still love it. Here's my clock radio that my husband had 18 years ago when I met him, and he insists that we still own it. I don't know if anybody else's partner or husband or whatever is like that, but yeah, sorry about the flashing lights, it's just like that on videos. Yeah, so I just sit it there. This is the door that we knocked through the wall, well the builder did, to make it into an ensuite. So this was just a wall before, it was no door. So I just put that mirror there, so when you walk into the, straight away when you open the door, if you want some sort of mirror to check yourself out in. Sorry, the light's really bad. It's a really cute mirror that looks quite French, from a New Zealand company. Like it came with the rust. So you stand in the walk-in wardrobe and that's what you see. You've heard me say it before in videos, but I really don't like the colour of my floors in my house. An option to get them all redone. I'm grateful they're in such good condition. I just absolutely don't like the colour, but I can live with that. So that's the tour of my French country cottage style farmhouse bedroom. I've kept it quite neutral because of my husband. He's just not into anything really girly. And if you didn't catch it in a previous video, my daughter has moved home again, so I can't keep on doing up the spare room, which I was planning to do. So when she leaves again, which, you know, we not that long into the future, I'm going to make my spare room quite pretty. I kind of want to put some pink in it, but this is just my compromise, that my husband has to share the same room as me, so I can just sort of go to town on the spare room eventually. It is actually a 5-bedroom house, but I have 4 of my children living at home at the moment, so that's kind of why we had to give up the spare room. That's okay. I hope you enjoyed this tour of my bedroom. Let me know what your favourite thing in it is.